Hello and welcome to Solent Sports News. Coming up in today's programme. Hampshire side haven't knocked out of the FA Cup, but we'll find out who Southampton will play in the third round. The draw is tonight. The national lockdown ends this week. We're live at the home of Hampshire FA at Stoneham to find out what this means to local clubs. And it's not just football which can return. Other sports are jumping for joy too. Hello, my name is Luke Simcock and this is your 4:30 Bulletin. Southampton striker Danny Ings is set to return against Brighton this week. His return will help Saints after falling to a 3-2 defeat against Manchester United. Ralph Hasenhüttl spoke on how he felt after the match.
Start in the second half, they were very strong, hard to defend for us. We tried to keep the pressure off, especially also in the second half with a lot of possession. We tried to calm the game down, but it's tough against such a team. They have so much quality. Then in the sub, Cavani was then in the second half a little bit more pressure in the box, and that caused us problems. And then you end up with conceding 3 goals, especially the third one is not really necessary, I think.
The injury to Raul Jimenez has been a major talking point this weekend. The Wolves striker suffered a fractured skull following a tackle from David Luiz. This raises the question, should teams be allowed a concussion substitute? Luke Griggs, who works with the brain injury charity Headway, believes so.
We've talked about this a long time and said we need to take decisions away from the players and away from the coaches. These decisions cannot be based on emotions. We know that professional footballers, and actually anybody who's passionate about sport at any level, will want to keep playing. They want to be out there. They don't want to quit. They want to fight on to the bitter end.
The FA Cup third round draw takes place tonight. Southampton and Portsmouth now enter the draw, though non-league Havant and Waterlooville have been knocked out following a defeat to Marine. This weekend's F1 Grand Prix was marked by a massive crash involving Romain Grosjean. People are talking about the Halo safety device, but this is not the only safety measure in the motor racing community. Following many drivers' deaths, the HANS device was created in the 1980s by Robert Hubert. The head and neck supporter working as an airbag solution may have saved the driver's life.
I wasn't for the Halo some years ago, but I think it's the greatest thing that we've brought to Formula One, and without it I wouldn't be able to speak to you today.
December the 2nd opens the doors for fans returning to watch sport across the country. Mark Fenner is at AFC Stoneham with the latest on how grassroots have been affected. Over to you, Mark.
Hi Luke, yes thank you. December the 2nd does signal fans returning to the sport all across the country. Jurgen Klopp, for one, is a massive advocate for this, considering 7 months of fans not being able to watch the sport.
Yes, I'm happy for the 2,000 lucky ones who get the chance to see live football again after all that time. But I have no experience with 2,000 people at Anfield, to be honest. So we will see.
These were the thoughts of a Premier League manager. But what about the lower leagues across the country? Well, we're here at Stoneham FC, and we got the thoughts of Mark Stubble.
For our first team games, it doesn't make any difference to us from spectators being allowed in. What it does affect with the new rulings is there will be no bar or cafe or food available for them, which is a shame really, because that's all part of grassroots football really.
There are major differences between fan spectatorship when it first lockdown was introduced. AFC Stockholm, fan spectatorship was a lot different compared to what it used to be. Thank you.
Women took another win this weekend against Nottingham Trent. Versailles are in a good run of form as they look to this weekend's away doubleheader against league leaders Ipswich. Ipswich are currently undefeated in the league, forming a tough challenge for the Kestrels. Ronnie O'Sullivan suffered a shock second-round defeat at the UK Snooker Championship. The world number 2 was defeated by Swiss Alexander Yushchenbeck 6-5. O'Sullivan offered no excuses for his performance and said the scoreline flattered him.
He played really well, he deserved his victory. I don't think I've ever come off a match thinking if I've deserved to lose, I've probably lost. And that's how it felt at there. I thought I'd done well to get 5 frames. I think the scoreline flattered me, to be honest with you. It should have been 6-1, 6-2, really, but he started missing. I think I just dragged him down to my level, and but then he probably got to 5-4 and thought, he's playing the better snooker and played the better snooker when it mattered,
England will be looking to capitalise on a weakened France side for Sunday's Nations Cup final. Eddie Jones says that they haven't yet reached their best despite Saturday's win against Wales. Prop Mako Vanupala added that their recent form has given them a big opportunity.
A team that's winning 80% games to 9%, and we're giving ourselves an opportunity by being in the final next week. So we're excited about that, and we're looking forward to it. However we play, we know it's going to be difficult, and but we also want to keep improving. So we've had 2 good wins against 2 good sides in Wales and Ireland, but we want to focus on what we can do better.
England cricket look to the T20 World Cup. They've steadily been building momentum heading into the tournament. Dawid Malan helped secure England a 4-wicket win over South Africa, wrapping the series up with a game to spare. He spoke on the importance of winning tight games like this.
Us can chip in and we can get something going and get a bit of momentum going up to this World Cup and keep winning series and keep winning these type of tight games. I think that will put this team or this squad in good stead for a World Cup. I think it's too early to say whether you're favourites or not.
This year has caused a lot of interruptions to sport due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Uni sports in particular have been affected more than most, one of those teams being the cheerleading teams. Amy Adams reports.
Cheerleading is a very difficult sport which requires an incredible amount of skill. From tumbling to stunting, cheerleaders put their bodies at risk, giving their all to the sport. However, due to COVID-19, it has brought a halt not once but twice to university cheer teams. We heard from members of Brighton Panthers and Portsmouth Phoenix, where they describe how it has impacted their team.
It's very upsetting that we're not able to compete this season, as the previous season we had was probably our best season yet. Our last competition, we won a national champions for our co-ed level 2 division, which is a huge achievement for both the club and the university.
Amelia thinks it will be difficult to entice new freshers into the sport without competing.
Going from such huge successes to not being able to compete is difficult not only for the whole team and the freshers who we want to introduce to the sport and want to keep them keen when they're not able to compete and there's nothing tangible at the end of it, but also for the committee who have spent hours and hours preparing for these competitions which we now will not be able to take part in.
5, 6, 7 dip, 1 dip, 3, 4. Oh.
Kit Secretary of the club, Emily Adams, expresses how they have adapted their training regime due to the pandemic.
Because of the government guidelines, we have only been allowed to have 1 training session face-to-face, where we have had to socially distance and wear masks when we were stunting. Now, as we cannot train together in a facility, the coaches have been giving teams home workouts to complete and teaching freshers and newcomers to cheer certain aspects such as jump technique. It has been tough to transition from face-to-face to online. However, everyone has been working hard to adapt to these changes, and we are really proud of our committee for doing this.
University sport in some ways can play a vital aspect in the overall experience. It's so unfortunate that these cheer teams have been unable to carry out their season the way they should have. Hopefully, things will change next year. Amy Adams, Solent Sports News.
Thank you all for watching, and we'll be back next Monday.